4.1.10, identify pre-planning and a suggested problem and a solution. And this is huge actually, and it's kind of hard to throw this in a practical way at this point in such a program. But the idea is that you just can't jump in and start coding. You really need to think long and hard about a complex problem and solution before you start programming. And there are various ways of approaching that, and one of them is with this Gantt chart, which shows all the different subtasks and when they will be carried out. But you can imagine if this is an actual Gantt chart for an actual program being developed, we're looking at months here. And so we're not just looking at a single program with a couple of methods, but that's what we can do at this point. So that's what we're going to think through. What do we want? We want overall averages, we want the highest grade, we want the highest grade per subject. So what we can do at this point with the programming that we've got is at least divide those up into individual sub procedures, as was referred to earlier, or functions/methods as we usually call them. So one thing I can do at this point in terms of pre-planning is put what we used to call method stubs. Now all these methods will have to be static because they're going to be called from the main. So I'm going to go void for now. We'll talk about that later. And we're going to have 3 of them. The first one's going to be for, say, creating, or maybe we'll just have one that takes input. So input method. And that will do something. I'm not going to do the something because I'm just identifying, as it says here, I'm identifying pre-planning methods. The next step would be creating the overall average. Calculate average. Or averages, I don't know. And I'm not even sure exactly where this is going at this point, but I'm getting an idea. And then there's going to be another part of the program, and so another function. We'll say now that's getting a little bit long for a method name, but for now it'll do. And finally, we wanted to get the highest in each subject. Now that's way too long an identifier name, but I'm planning, so I can change that later on. And for now, that is very clear what I'm trying to do. So probably what I'm going to do is move all this input stuff down into here. So let me at least do that, just to give you an idea of where we're going with this. I'm going to put that down in here. And it's no use just sitting there. It doesn't like the fact that the BR is there. Let's just see. It's probably going to need some sort of yeah, we'll talk about that later. All right. So the idea being, as we saw earlier, we're going to refer to, or we're going to call this method from the main method. Right? We're going to call input method, and then naturally we're going to call the others. So I guess I can do that much. For now, semicolon at the end of every line. Do notice that what I'm copying and pasting in terms of this calling of functions, you take along the open and close parentheses as well, not just the name. Right, so I think we've done a pretty good job right now at identifying different parts of the solution by way of pre-planning.